Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Cohee here. Welcome to part 7. I'm calling this one Intermediate Part Modeling Concepts. And for some of you, this will be intermediate. Some of you, it'll be basic. And some of you, it'll be advanced. Trust me, you can't make everybody on YouTube happy. So let's get started by creating a new document. You saw that I hit the plus, I hit save, and I'm going to insert that blank document into this assembly. Just like I have in all the previous 6 videos of this series, I'm using bottom-up modeling and the edit in place feature to be able to edit that referenced component in the assembly while I have the assembly open. Real cool feature that we're really highlighting here as part of this series. So I've done everything that I've done in all the previous videos as well. I started a sketch, I projected geometry. But in this case, what I'm going to do is rather than to continue editing this part with the assembly open, I'm going to exit out of edit in place. I'm going to save the assembly, which will also save the part file. And I'm going to close the assembly out. In some cases, you're going to want to do this. You're not always going to want to be using edit in place and have the assembly open, because you might want to close the assembly for somebody else to do some work on it. And now that I have all the information that I need down at the part level, I can just have the part open and I can fly along. And when I'm ready to push the update to the rest of the team, we'll do just that. So I've got my sketch. Remember, I projected all this geometry forward, and I'm going to use this as my base feature, start an extrusion, and I'm starting the model rocking and rolling here. The next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to create an offset work plane. Now, an offset work plane is used when you want to sketch out in space, right? So this type of work plane, I choose the reference plane, determine the distance, and now I have the geometry that I need to loft 2 profiles to create the shape that I'm looking for. So the first profile, I'm just going to edit the existing sketch, sketch the circle that will be profile 1. And next one I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch on this offset work plane. I'm going to project the center of the other circle, so I have an appropriate reference point. And I'll start just a circle command and type in my diameter. Nothing new here, right? With the Loft command, though, Loft command is dependent on 2 or more sketches in order to create the geometry. If you only had one sketch in a direct line, you wouldn't use Loft, you'd use Extrude, right? In this series, this is the first time we've used the Loft command. So basically all you do is select your profile and all the geometry in profile 1, select your second profile and the geometry within it, determine the operation, join type, and then you can change the transitions as well. So rather than a direct line transition, what I want is more of a curved approach here. Again, we're not getting real advanced in the Loft command for this example, but I have the shape that I'm looking for. I didn't want that direct line. Okay, cool. So got my Loft done. I've got a flat surface there, so I'll start a new sketch because I'm just going to sketch out the circle for the threads. I'm going to throw some threads on here pretty soon, and just extrude that out with a join type operation, and I've got the geometry that I'm looking for. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I've got a hole that goes all the way through this thing, and I have all the basic geometry that I need to blow the hole through. So let's go ahead and turn on the visibility of the first sketch. Notice I didn't create a new sketch. The geometry was there. It already existed in one sketch. Again, that kind of that CAD discipline that we've been talking about during this series. Try to, again, keep your sketches at a minimum and use the geometry that's there as you need it. So I'll use the chamfer command to knock off the edge here, 1 millimeter chamfer, and then I'll do a 1 millimeter fillet. And you can see these dialog boxes popping up and my cursor's not moving. I'm using the shortcut keys. Okay, so F, fillet, I'm using the S key to bring up commands that I use a lot. Here, the thread, and now I've got the geometry that I need. So, get used to using hotkeys, right-click menus, your S key, whatever you can start using to make yourself fast, right? That's really what you want to do. So I've started a sketch on the front side of this. I'm going to use project geometry to bring my hole position where this thing mounts up. And what I'm sketching out here is just a 10 millimeter, a little bit of a relief cut. So I need access to place a screw here, but you can see where I need to place it is there's some material interfering. So in this use of the extrude command, I'm going to use a two-sided extrude, both cuts in the operation. So in one direction, I'm saying blow all the way through any geometry that's in the way here. So I need to be able to place a screw there. And then on the back side of it, I want it to inset 0.5 millimeter so that when I tighten the screw in, it falls right into place. Okay, now I'm going to place the hole. I'm putting an M5 in this, I believe. So here I'm saying I just want a clearance hole as an M5, and I'm good to go. Apparently I just got an email. Everybody's probably checked their own email when they heard that email ring over the microphone. I'd love to hear if anybody's guilty of that. All right, next thing I'm going to do is pattern this. I'm going to do a circular pattern because I have a circular reference here. And I could have done that 4 different times. I could have done that in the sketch and everything, but I just think that a circular pattern in this particular instance is a much more efficient modeling practice. I only had to do it once. I only had to model it once, I pattern it once, and I have the 4 features that I'm looking for. Okay. All right, so that's it. I've modeled this thing all up. I recorded this one at real-time speed. I didn't speed it up. I've got a little bit of feedback on some of the places we've posted these videos that I'm going too fast. Keep in mind that I'm going fast on purpose, trying to make these engaging, a little bit entertaining, try to lay down a joke every now and again. Yeah, definitely not intending these to be follow along, click-by-click, step-by-step guides. So if the pace is a little bit faster, sorry, that's really not what we're intending out of this series, but nevertheless. So I've saved the part. I opened up the assembly. The assembly said, hey, you've got some parts that need updated. I went ahead and updated. The assembly got all the new updates. I've created a copy because I want 2 instances, and I'm using joints. And I keep teasing I'm going to do a joint video, but trust me, I am going to do a joint video. But I'm going to use joints to position that thing in space. And there we go. We've got our water inlet outlet. Few little good nuggets in there. I hope you picked up a thing or two. It is a Monday. Yeah, we'll keep carrying on in this series. Appreciate everybody's comments and feedback. Have a great day.